Okay, welcome back, everyone. As we continue our Motzoi Shabbos marathon, Motzei Yom Tov marathon here, as we start Daf Lamed Gimel Lamed Aleph, 5 lines from the top with the new Mishnah. Majbiya ani aleichem, I put you to an oath, Yitzia Menachem, im lo yisavayu v'si'iduni, if you don't come and testify, sheyesh li biyad ploni, that I have with Shelley pikadon, a deposit, usasumas yad, or a loan, v'gezel, or he has something stolen, v'avedo, or a lost article. If they say shvur she'ein yoidin l'cha edus, if they swear that we don't know testimony, ein chayovin ela achas, even though it's about all these things, a loan, a deposit, theft, a lost article, but since they only said one lashon shvua on all of them, they're only chayiv once. However, if Menachem and Yitz say shvua she'ein under yoidim, we swear that we don't know sheyesh lach biyadi biyad ploni, pikadon, the deposit, the sumas yad, a loan, v'gezel, theft, v'aved, and a lost article, then chayovin al kol achas v'achas. Since they said the shvu on each and every one, they're chayiv for all 4. Mashbi ani aleichem, I put you to an oath. Im lo yisavo v'sa'idu, if you don't come and testify, sheyesh li biyad ploni, that I have by Shelley, pikadon, a deposit of chitin usa'orin v'kusman, wheat, barley, and spelt. And they say, shvua she'ein anu yoidin l'cha edus. We don't know about anything. Ein chayovin ela achas. They're only chayiv once. However, if they itemize each one when they say the shvua she'ein anu yoidin l'cha edus sheyesh lach biyad ploni chitin usa'orin v'kusman, that we don't know that you have by Shelley wheat, barley, and spelt, chayovin al kol achas v'achas. They're chayiv for each one. Mashbiya ani aleichem, I put you to an oath. Im lo yisavo v'si'iduni, if you, Yitzia Menachem, don't testify on my behalf, sheyesh biyad ploni, that I have by Shelley nezek, damages, chatzi nezek, half damages, tashlume kefil, double payment for theft, tashlume arba v'chamisha 4 or 5 for stealing and selling, or stealing and slaughtering a ox or a sheep, v'sha'onas ish ploni as biti, or that he violated my daughter, or pita as biti, or seduced my daughter, v'shekani b'ni, or hit my son, v'shekavel bi chaverai, or that my friend hit me, v'shehidlik es gedishi b'yom HaKippurim, or he ignited my crops, he hit me, or ignited my crops on Yom Kippur. In all these cases, hari elu chayavim. In all these cases, if they deny testimony, they're chayiv. Now, the last 2 cases where I said that a wound was made, or my crops were ignited on Yom Kippur, that's because we don't say kam leibin ramine, that you forfeit your life and don't have to pay, because Yom Kippur, making a wound or burning a stack is only an Issachar, and there's no kam leibin ramine with an Issachar. The chiddush of the...
I know he has the garden. Only one of...
One second.
Sorry.
The chiddush of the other cases is that you would think that the other cases might be a knas, and maybe there's no shvu on a knas. We'll see that all the other cases could be explained as mamain and not a knas. Okay, it is very late. It is 11:46. That's why I stopped Ruvain from asking a question, and that's why I'm stopping you from asking a question as well. I have a feeling that at 11:46, the Olam doesn't want questions. Am I right, Rabbi Say? Yeah, looks like I'm right. Shtika koida. Now, smiles are even a bigger idea. Now, Here now the Gemara asks the question. You know, if you kill an Eved, you have to pay 30 shkolim. That's a knas. Is there Shavuos Edus by a knas? Or maybe there's only Shavuos Edus by money, by monetary payments, and not by penalties. So the Gemara right away opens up with that question. Ibayalo, Mashbia Ede Knas Mao. What's the din if I put them to an oath about Shelley being chayiv to me a penalty? So the Gemara says, well, the only reason to say that a penalty might be different is because if you admit, you don't have to pay. However, according to Rabbi Elazar Reb Shimon, it's not even a question. Because Rabbi Elazar Reb Shimon says, even if you admit, but then witnesses come, you have to pay. So therefore, if Menachem and Yitz would testify, you would have to pay. So I might say that since Shelley would admit he'd be potter, maybe therefore this is not talking about a shvua about monetary things, because if he would admit, he would be potter. Says the Gemara, V'Rabbanan Dahasim command Svirula. What do they hold? Do they hold Davar Agarim Lamamin Kamamin Dami? That something could generate money is like money? So then for sure, Yitzi and Menachem should be chayiv, because they could have generated money. Shelley might not admit. Ilaim Krablaz B'Shim Dacha Hakam Davar Agarim Lamamin Kamamin Dami. Ela Karabanan Dacha, like the Rabbanan of over here. Damar Davar Agarim Lamamin Lav Kamamin Dami. It's not enough that it's something that could generate money, like something that could necessitate a shvua, and the person might not shvir, and therefore he's chayiv. It has to be actual money. Do we say, well, Shelley didn't admit yet, so if they would have came forward, then Shelley would have to pay. If Shelley would admit, it's not considered money, and therefore they're not chayiv. Now he didn't admit, and since he didn't admit, if they would have came and gave testimony, then Shelley would have to pay. Says the Gemara, Tashma, it seems to be that our Mishnah mentions cases that are a penalty. Mashbi'an yalechem loisavo v'seiduni sheyeshli biat ploini nezek v'chatzi nezek. Now, chatzi nezek is where a short tam gores the first time. And we know the short tam gores the first time, it's a knas. V'chatzi nezek knasu. Says Gemara, no raya, command yom apalganis k'mamayna. It's going according to the opinion that holds that a short time that pays a half nezek, that's a monetary payment and not a penalty. Says but if you hold it's a penalty, then at least according to that opinion, it's a raya that there's a Shavuos Edus even on a penalty. Says no, there's a chatzi nezek that everybody holds is mammon. What's that case? Where a chicken is hopping, and it hops on pebbles, and the pebbles shoots and breaks a window, you only pay a chatzi nezek, and that's a monetary payment. The chatzi nezek sreiris, the hilchas gemira the memaino, that's money. Says our Mishnah says tashlum kefil. Now the double payment is definitely a knas. Says the Gemara, no mishum karna. That's because the Shavuos Edus would have been b'chayv to pay the principal. The principal is mammon. And what about 4 or 5? And that's also mishum karna. The principal is money. Sha'anas ish ploini upita es bite. What about that Chatzkel raped or seduced my daughter? There, the penalty of 50 shkolim is a penalty. Says the Gemara, but there's also monetary payment. Mishum baishas abgam. There's the monetary payment for her humiliation and her devaluation, but she's not a virgin. So then the Gemara says, so then what's the chiddush of all the cases in the Mishnah? My Kamash Mala, what's the chiddush of all the cases in the Mishnah? Kula Mamainahu, it's all monetary payment. So why does it say all these cases? Says the Gemara, Reisha Chada Kamash Malan and Sefer Chada Kamash Malan. The Reisha teaches us a chiddush and the Sefer teaches us a chiddush. Reisha Chada Kamash Malan, that the payment of a chicken stepping on pebbles and shooting and breaking the window is monetary. The Chatzi Nezek Tzroir is Mamaino. And Sefer Chada Kamash Malan, that Shehidlitz is Kedisha B'Yom HaKippurim, that if he burned down my crops on Yom Kippur, that is monetary payment, and we don't say because he's Chayiv Koris, he's parted from paying. La'afuke Mai, La'afuke Ben Reb Nechonim Ben Akana. The Tanya Reb Chuna Ben Akana Hoyoisi Yom HaKippurim Keshabbos. He said that Yom Kippur is like Shabbos, L'Tashlumin. Ma Shabbos, you're Chayiv Misa, and therefore you don't pay money. Af Yom Kippur, you're Chayiv Koris, which is spiritual death, and you don't pay money. And so it's telling us not like Reb Nechonim Ben Akana. So we still want to bring a proof about a knas. Tajma, Mashpia Ani Aleichem, I put you Yitzia Menachem to oath. I put you to an oath. If you don't come and testify on my behalf, Shahoitzi Ish Pliny Shem Ra Al Biti, that so and so, Chatzkel, maligned my daughter. So Chayavim, they're Chayav. Hoide Bipiatzmai, if he admits on himself, Potter. So here we see that even though it's a knas, because the 100 shkalim for a Moitzi Shemra is a knas, there's still Chayav for Shavuos Daf. Says the Gemara, Hamani Rabbi Elazar Reb Shimoni. It's going according to Rabbi Elazar Reb Shimon that says even after they admit, if Adam come, they're still chayiv to pay. The Amar Yavo Adam v'Yoidu. So the Gemara says, but it says Ema Seifa Hoida Me'atzmai Potter. If he admits he's Potter, so that's not like Rabbi Elazar Reb Shimon. Asan Rabbanan says the Gemara, no. Kula Rabbi Elazar Reb Shimoni. V'achi Kamar. The only case where if he would admit he would be potter is where Adam never come. Where there's no witnesses, and he admits, so then he would be potter. But since if witnesses come afterwards, he's chayiv, so therefore the witnesses always would be mechayiv in mammon, and that's why if they don't come, they're chayiv for Shavuos Daf. Now, the only time you're chayiv is if the claimant makes a monetary claim. If the claimant makes a claim that's not monetary, or if the claimant makes a claim for someone else, but not for himself, then he's potter. Then the witnesses are potter. So, says the Mishnah, Mashbi'ani aleichem, I put you to an oath, Yitzia Menachem, ilmoi savo v'sa'idu, if you don't come and give testimony, Shani Kohen, then I'm a Kohen. Or Shani Levi, or that I'm a Levi. She'eni ben Grusha, I'm not the son of a Grusha, and therefore I'm not a Chalul. She'eni ben Chalutza. So there, it's not a monetary claim. Now you'll say it is a monetary claim. If you're a Kohen, you could get Truma. That's not considered a direct monetary claim, because even I could get Truma, but people might not give it to me. They might give it to other Kohanim. So that's not considered a monetary claim. Now, if I say, if you don't testify, ish ploini kohen, that Mel is a kohen. Sheesh ploini Levi, that Mel is a Levi. She'ena ben Grusha, she'ena ben Chalutza. So here, it's not going to be chai because it's not the claimant that's making the claim. Or she'onis ish ploini as bito, that so and so raped Chatzkel's daughter, Upita es bitai, or seduced his daughter. Again, he's not the claimant. Or v'shechavo bi b'ni, my son wounded me. Now, if my son wounds me, he's not going to have to pay because he forfeits his life. Because you're not allowed to wound the father, and therefore he'd be parted from paying because of kam leibun ramine. Or v'shechavo bi chaverai she'id l'kadeshi b'Shabbos, or he makes a wound on me, or burns down my crops on Shabbos. There again, he wouldn't be chayiv to pay, because since he forfeits his life for making a wound on Shabbos or burning on Shabbos, he doesn't pay. And so in all these cases, harayela p'turin. Now the Gemara says, Taima de ish pliny kayin de ish pliny levi. It's only because I said that you should say that Mel is a kayin or Mel is a levi. Ha mana le pliny biyad pliny. But if I say that Shelley owes Mel money, chayavin? But wait, we said that you're not chayiv unless it comes from the claimant. Hakitani seifa achi yishmu mepiyat toiveya. Says, well, here it's talking about where Mel gave me power of attorney. So since Mel gave me power of attorney, if I said that Shelley owes Mel money, it's like Mel is speaking. Amashmul b'boba arsha. Says Gemara v'imrei nardoi like kasvina urkes amatal. We don't write a power of attorney on movables, on money. Says Gemara, hani miliecha de kafrei. That's only where Shelley is denying it. Avaloi kafrei, where Shelley is not denying it, and this is a case where Shelley is not denying it, there kasvina. There we write the power of attorney. Now the Gemara asks us a very basic question. We said that Shavuos Ha'edus is only by a monetary claim. Not that somebody is a kohen, not that somebody is a Levi. It's only by a monetary claim. So Tan Rabbanan, minayin sheina kosim medaber ela b'tfiyas mammon. How do we know that it's only by a monetary claim? Rebbe Eliezer, this is very interesting. This is a phrase. I don't know if this phrase is anywhere else in Shas. The plural of oy. See, it says over here, ora o hoda. So it says two O's. So nemar kan o in, two O's. V'nemar lahalin o in. It says by pikadon two O's. Ma lahalin ein medaber ela b'tfilas mammon, a claim of money. Afkan ein medaber ela b'tfilas mammon. So the Gemara says, but it also says two O's by murder. Oyin de retzeach yachichu. Shein ayin, it says over there, umedabrim shaloi b'tfilas mammon, and there's no claim of money. Says the Gemara, done in ayin sheyeshima and shvua, we learn out which is accompanied by a shvua, may ayin sheyeshima and shvua, from by pikadon, which is accompanied by a shvua, v'al yachichu oin de retzeach, where there's no shvua, sheinima and shvua. Says the Gemara, but it says by saita, again this week's parasha. Ayin the saita yechichu. Shein ayin, it says ay by saita. V'yeshimam shvua, and the saita swears. Umedabrim shaloi b'tfilas mammon, and there's no claim of money. Says the Gemara, done in ayin sheyeshimam shvua ve'eni ma'in kayin. We learn out Shavuos Ha'edus, which says ay. It has a shvua, and it's not accompanied by a kayin. Ma'ayin sheyeshimam shvua, that's pikadon, ve'ein imam kayin. V'al yochichu on the reitzeach, because even though it's but she'ein imam shvua, there's no shvua. V'al yochichu ayin the saita, because even though by saita there is a shvua, sha'afal pi sheyeshimam shvua, over there's a kayin, yeshimam kayin, it's administered by the kayin. Rabbi Kiva says a different shot. You know how you know? We're talking over here only with a claim of money. It says, if you're guilty from one from these. Now, me'ela is a limitation. Yesh be'ela shu chayiv, V'yesh me'ela shu potter. So what's the ones that are potter? Ha-ketzad, tavu mammon, if there's a claim of mammon, chayah. Davar acher, the last shot of the evening. Davar acher. We're only at 1 hour and 10 minutes. To me, that's almost a nes nigla to learn these two blat in an hour and 10 minutes. It really is a siyata d'shmaya. And I want to remind you that after we do this, we're going to do 3 Mishnah Yomises, because I didn't record on Erev Yom Tov. So we have to do 3 Mishnah Yomises, but it's Pirkei Avos, so it's not hard. But Davar Achar, Tov Mom and Chayiv Davar Achar Potter. Rabbi Yossi Aglili Aimer, Harihu Aimer v'hu Eid Oira Oyada. It's talking about a circumstance where the aid sees it without knowing that it's alone, or he knows about it without seeing it. Be'edus hamiskayemes beria below yediyah, with seeing it without knowing, or beyediyah below riyah, or knowing without seeing. Hakasam adabit. Now here's a case where Shelley says, Rabbi Weiss, you didn't give me any money. No money. Re'iyah below yediyah ketzad, where Yitz and Menachem know that I counted out Shelley money. They don't know that it was a loan. But Shelley said, I never gave him money. Mana manisalach b'fnei pliny or pliny. I counted money to you in front of so-and-so. Yavo pliny or pliny v'ya'idu. Now, Zui Re'iyah below Yediyah, they saw it, they don't know the nature of it. But Shelley said, I never gave him any money. Yediyah below Re'iyah, Ketzat. What's Yediyah below Re'iyah? Here they know that there was a loan, they didn't see it. Shelley, you admitted owing me the money in front of Yitz and Menachem. Yavo pliny v'ya'idu. Now there they know it, but they didn't see it. Zui Yediyah below Riyah. So this is possible, Riyah below Yediyah, Yediyah below Riyah, by a monetary matter. Okay, we'll stop over here, Rabbi. So I want to remind you that tomorrow night, Shir is 8:50, and now, also tomorrow night is the Chumash Shir. We, as of yet, do not have a sponsor for the Chumash Shir for tomorrow night. I know it's not much time to get a sponsor when the next day after Yom Tov is Wednesday night. There's also not much time to prepare for the shir, but I will prepare for the shir with the help of Hashem. If you would like to sponsor the shir, 718-916-3100. That's again, text me to 718-916-3100. Please do it quickly, or rmmwsi@aol.com. And now we're going to do the Mishnah Yomis.